Welcome to Control Techniques booth here at WEFTEC 2023. Today we're going to talk about connectivity and accessing pump drive data. At Control Techniques we believe that getting the data and getting the information out of your drive, no matter where it is vitally important to any of the processes that you're running. And in today's world, we do this with almost everything we have. Think about your thermostat at home, your washing machine, anything else that you're working with at your home. You want to get at that wherever you're at. You want to get the data out of it. We say we want the same thing out of our VFDs and our pump systems. So when we think about a pump system, we talked about this yesterday, we have our pump mechanics, we've got our motor, we've got our VFD, which is traditionally the most intelligent part of the system when you look at the electronics. To get to that VFD, you've got a keypad, possibly an HMI. You might have a local interface with some sort of software on it to talk to the VFD. And we want to talk today about getting access to those interfaces when you're a remote support personnel or getting information out of the cloud. And we'll just define the cloud as any internet connection point to get at the hardware that you have in your system. Within the cloud, we usually have some sort of data consolidation and analysis, and we'll talk about what we're going to use there and how we're going to get access to that. This uses a number of different types of technology: Wi-Fi, 5G, LoRa, Zigbee. There's a lot of ways we can go with this. So we're going to take a look at that today and how we get our data out of our pump systems. When we look at the drive in a pump system, it's usually a central point of data consolidation. Within the drive, we're bringing back our flow sensors, our pressure sensors, our flow monitoring devices, sometimes temp sensors, and that is the bucket where all of this data ends up residing. So we can look at motor speed, motor current, temperature values, other user inputs, what our supply power is, the sequence history of the system. All of this comes into the drive, so it makes it the ideal connection point for any remote monitoring of your pump system in the field. And so what we want to look at then is how do we get to that VFD in the field? How do we get the data out of it, and how do we visualize that data? I really believe that there are two ways that we do this. If you have a single pump in the field in remote accessibility mode, such as an ag application, an irrigation application, what we do at Control Techniques is we use something like Modbus to connect to the drive through a remote access router. There's a couple of companies, a couple of factories that make these Cradlepoint and E1, or a couple that we use commonly. And then we use 5G or Wi-Fi from those devices back into the cloud to go ahead and access that single pump. It's a nice way just to get point data out of a pump system in the field. The other way we can do it is fleet access, and there's a lot more technology around this today than there was a few years ago. We have a partner within Control Techniques called Lexi. We use something called LoRa, so it's long-range Wi-Fi, very low power, up to 13 miles per drive. So if you have to cover 26 miles in a square, you could do this with LoRa, long-range Wi-Fi, back to a remote access fleet router. From that router, again, we use 5G or Wi-Fi to get back up to the cloud. Then we access the cloud using our computers or our iPhones to get that data out of it. But when you're using fleet access, you have more opportunities around consolidating data from multiple pump stations out in the field, especially in agriculture applications, to get everything that you want on your system. So when we're accessing these remote devices, whether it's a single pump or it's fleet control, usually the first thing we really want to do is just mirror what we're seeing at the pump drive. And this could be through the keypad, through the HMI, or through a PC connected to the pump drive. To mirror that, we use a couple pieces of software to do that. First one we use is TeamViewer. And I think a lot of us have used TeamViewer in the past. It embeds onto a PC tool, onto the PC remotely at the pump station, and you can mirror that through your accessibility from 5G to the cloud, and then through internet connection back up to the cloud, and see what's actually happening on the computer next to the pump. The second way we do this is with HMIs. Now HMI is your touchscreen interface, your phone's technically an HMI. What we can do is have embedded web pages. So you actually pop in the IP address of that HMI, and you've got an embedded web page. You can access the HMI from anywhere in the world. So if you want to just control the drive or see what's happening, this is the way to go. Now if you have fleet access and you really want to do data consolidation, visualization, analysis, what we would do is take that data set that I showed you before that's consolidated in the drive, bring it up to the cloud, and then use a data analytics and visualization platform. We use Lexi to do this today. And what this allows us to do is both remote monitoring or AI control. So if something happens out of the system, you want to reset it automatically, you can do that through remote monitoring software. This also provides automated communications. Your pump goes down, it's getting dry, the drive is tripped, something happened with the motor. You get an email or a text automatically from this system in order to go out and remind you to reset it or to do it through your AI control. The third piece of Lexi that it provides is remote analysis and reporting. So if you want to see how much water we've used, how much power we've used, how many times it's tripped, what the user inputs have been out in the field, Lexi or analytics software like this can take that, consolidate for you, represent it to you, and provide it both to your customer and to your factory to evaluate what's going on with your pumps in the field. So, to wrap it all up, 4 key takeaways, the way that we remotely access pumps. The first goal is to access the pump system. How do we even get to the pump system when we're not next to it? There's a couple ways we can do that. We talked about those platforms. We talked about 5G, Wi-Fi, LoRa. The second is understanding the drive is usually the most intelligent part of the system. That's where the data consolidation is, and that's where you're going to go and get what you need out of the pump system. Thirdly, there are different technologies that allow us to access either a single or a fleet pump system. They differ, and they have different advantages to it. So if you have a lot of pumps, you might go point to point to those pumps and use a single pump access strategy, or you may use a fleet access strategy on the system. And then number 4, good to have a partner in a cloud-based data analytics and visualization platform, because this is essential to providing and evaluating the data that comes into your pump system. So at Control Techniques, we pride ourselves on being industry-leading, technology-leading in a lot of these strategies that we talked about today. You look back all the way through the 80s, we've been first to market on a number of technologies, a number of strategies, and a number of products. We're going to continue to do the same thing here in the pump world with our products, the Pump Drive F600, our WMP, and our DFS product, to give remote accessibility, data analytics, and remote visualization to what's happening on our pumps in the field. So, thanks for the time. Appreciate any questions. I will take them.